Hi, how are you? This is JilliBling. This is a project for free for those that place a $50 plus order. I'd love to send you this for the month of December. And I'm using a few new products, a few kind of new products, and a few little bit older products. So it is a pop-up card, and this card is almost done. I want to put another flower right here. But this is using, I'll show you the designer paper. It's using some new dies, like this one in the background. And also the pop-up has been out for about a month, and this is the first time I'm playing with it. It's a lot of fun. It's easier than you might think. So, pop-up petals bundle that includes the pop-up dies. Want to use that. Lovely arrangements, which will be in the January mini catalog, the happy birthday, and then also sending smiles. That's right here. Texture notes for the word label. A little something on there, okay. Charming Day is for this die right here. Here's the pop-up petals. So these things that look like shutters, that's the pop-up piece. So when you put it on your card, it just cuts the top and the bottom and scores the middle. And there's two different sizes. I use the larger one. So there's a larger one. This one is just a little bit smaller. And these pieces, I am using them as just the flaps for like a little planter box. There's just the little flaps there, and we'll use those in just a minute. Excuse me. But today I want to use this stamp set. So when you get your card kit, you do all of your own stamping. So that's why I decided to add this piece, which is just die cut. That will be included in your kit, but also a piece of paper. So you could use whatever flowers you have, or you could get the pop-up petals bundle, and you could do it exactly like today's project. I also want to use Fragrant Layers dies. So this will be coming out in January too, and that's for these 7 little flowers. And another new one, Lovely Arrangements dies. See this right here? That cuts out this vellum piece, and you'll be able to see it a little bit better, but for right now, it's just kind of a lot of little understated, elegant pieces that make up a simple but beautiful card, but still has some depth to it too. Okay, so here's how your card kit will come. And November, online exclusives. Here is Pop-Up Petals, $46.75 for the bundle. Item number 168010. It includes the stamp set and the dies, which is fun. We'll be using a chopstick to kind of curl those little white flowers. So when I was making the sample, preparing, every time I put that fancy die on here, it kind of shifted. And if you look at this, it's like, oh, that's crooked. So I think I'm going to end up throwing this away, which kind of makes me cringe, but I don't want a crooked box. So I tried it again, then I even tried to fix it, not good. So when you're using this set, just make sure to really have it held down there tight. The paper we're using is the Peace on Earth, I think this is called Peaceful Garden. Peaceful Garden designer paper, and it has all these lovely cloud cover pieces in it. Okay, so let's get started on our kit. So this is what you'll get in the mail. Take it out, and the kit includes pieces, so you could do it this way with the die cut. The die cut pieces are in there, or it has a piece of paper to do the stamping for whatever flowers you have. Either way is fine. So I want to use this one here. Pop-up petals, I want to use this. And I want it to remain a little bit soft, so instead of using Memento ink, I'm going to use basic gray, and I'm going to color it with the blends. So I'll do 3 of these. And you could use any flower, anything that you want to pop up in the box, because the rest of it is pretty neutral. Okay, and the bundle includes a die to cut these out. So let's cut those out. Let's get that part started. So here they are. All but one of them is colored. So when you're coloring, you have to go a little bit quick and careful about the smoky slate stamped image, just because it's not memento, so it won't hold up to lots of coloring and lots of blending. But if you just hit it 1 or 2 times, let it dry in between the times you hit it, it won't blur. But we'll work on that in just a minute. Okay, let's get back to the kit. So the kit, let's just start building this. And this project, I want to use these flowers, and I want to finish up this flower in here. So whichever flowers you decide to use, your own or the die cut pieces, you'll have knowledge on it all. Okay, so this just gets layered. And your kit will include the bling and the double linen thread bows and the vellum sheet. We'll do the vellum sheet here in just a minute. And I have a few tips on putting the vellum sheet onto the front of the card, just because when you use vellum, if you're not careful, you could see your adhesive through the vellum. So I have a couple of tips for that. Okay, that goes on. This will go on with dimensionals. Oop, I need more big dimensionals. New sheet. This is a fun little bundle, all those different flowers. And I can imagine doing them like in really bright colors. That would be fun too. Okay. So go right here. There's no right side up, upside down. Okay. So we have these. Let's see what else is in here. These are all the goodies. This is the ephemera pack. Okay. So a bow for the front, and that will be this one. And here's the vellum. Let me show you the vellum. That's what the vellum piece looks like. Here's the die. I'm going to do vellum. And on the sample card, I have it going up and down. This time I want to try to turn it to the side, maybe. Up and down is still better, I think. That just takes up too much room, I think. Okay, up and down. So I'll put this on with a dimensional at the top and glue on the bottom. Just set it, how about right about here? It doesn't matter where, wherever you like it, wherever you think it looks good. Okay, that will go there. And I would like to say, oh, just put glue in a few spots and get that put down, but I want to have the glue underneath the little white flowers. So before we decide where to put the little white flowers, I need the word label. And sometimes my cutting pads are just too old and they leave behind a little bit of debris. And I know that's because I use washi tape a lot to hold my dies in place. But the adhesive remover helps with that. Okay, so I'm going to stamp on here some words from this set. I like this, how big it is. Thanks for being there. I'm going to stamp that. And you know what? I have one already done. Let me pull that out. It's right here. So this, I'm not sure where it should go yet. Kind of like it there. Maybe that's why I was thinking of it going this way. Ooh, how about up in the corner and this being down here? That's okay too, huh? Or tucked underneath. Maybe covering up the stem or tucked underneath. How about right like that? Okay, that looks good. It's kind of similar to this one. Okay, so now I could place these 7 little flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to have to put them on my pad. Oh, so my pad, I tried doing it opposite, where I had the white die cut piece and little vellum flowers, but they kind of get lost. So, you know, we have to try. Sometimes if you're not sure, you just have to get in there and just try. That's what this is. You could try it if you want, but it didn't work. I don't think so. Okay, so do we count all these? Right side up, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to use my chopstick on them. 5, 6, and number 7. And the chopstick thing is, if you don't have a chopstick dedicated to your Stampin' Up! Little caddy, that's fine. You can use like a pen. You could use that, which is probably the same size as a chopstick. Or find something a little bit bigger. That's probably the same size. You could use the end, whatever you like. I'm looking at what else I have here. That might be too big. Well, you never know. Ugh. Actually, it's kind of cute. Makes it more sunflower looking. But I'm going to do my chopstick on all these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I know that when we put the card together, they're going to get a little more flattened out when you mail it, when you put it in an envelope. But look how cute they are right now. And they do keep just a little bit of the curl up. So they're just cute right now. Okay. So the next step is to put a dot of glue onto wherever you'd like the flowers to go. Ooh, there, you could see it a lot better. I could see it a lot better. So I'm thinking this could be flat. So let me put glue underneath this. It's gonna go here, 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 here. Then I'll tuck it underneath, back to where it was. Okay, and just let that dry. Okay, so let's decide where these little flowers go. Maybe, I think the corners, that kind of defines the shape. Then some other random, no pattern. Not all again along the bottom. Or maybe over here. That's cute over there. So now when you look at this one, you're like, oh, that's what you got going on there. And I'll take pictures and I'll put them on my blog, which is JilliBling.com. So if you're recreating this card, or if you get it in the mail as your free kit, you could just copy the placement or do wherever you like. Sometimes it's easier on the first one just to copy placement, because you're just getting through getting it done. Then you could be creative on the second round. Okay, and then for each of these, put a dot of glue and set it in there. And right now I'm not real worried about how the little flower lies in the center, because I know the glue takes a minute or 2 or 10 to dry. Just a glob of glue, knowing that the flower will cover up the adhesive. It's like, how good can you be with your less dominant hand? Okay, so now I'll get these right where I want them. Even if I flatten them out a little bit, that means more glue. I should come up with a better word. Glue stickage, you know. Aren't those cute? I love this die. The minute I saw this die, I was like, oh, that's gonna be fun. And I first originally thought of little flowers on it. I don't know why. I was talking with a friend, with Jo, and she's like, I have such a hard time going from rich regal colors and neutral colors of Christmas, and then more regal colors, and then jumping into spring and Easter. And I agree, it's just, it's hard to change from all those colors with so much depth. But I'm kind of liking this one. But then I always like blue, you know. Okay, so this is going to go on here. See, that's kind of cute, huh? But now you know where the glue will go. Because if we flip this over, glue could go on all the spots that have something on them. Yeah, there's dogs in my background, as in 2. We have Bruiser. We're watching him while the kids are in Sacramento with family for the holiday. Tony is, I'm going to put glue on here too. Tony is out feeding their chickens. So we've got 2 dogs rather than 1 the whole weekend. And this can go, how about if we do it off to the side a little? The other one is centered. Oh, that was Bo. See, that keeps looking crooked to me. Yeah, that's better. And now I know where to put the vellum down. In some ways, I kind of think that maybe the vellum should be on dimensionals, just so it shows a little bit better, but that's okay. Okay, so that's done. I kind of like it off to the side like that and a little bit high. So now I'll take the double bow. I'll put it right in the middle. And I'm just going to let the glue soak into the linen thread. Maybe a little extra glue. Okay, there it is. Oh, we could put the bling on. So these are, what is the bling? It's this bling right here, the cloud cover. It is 20, the in color flat pearls. Okay. And at first I was thinking, oh, I had to put a bling in the center of each of those white flowers. But then it kind of takes away from the bright freshness of it. It's still cute, but that's a lot of bling too. 1. I don't know. 2. Sometimes it's easy just to plop them in, and that's where they go. 3. Those are kind of all in a row. These here, that might be a little bit better. I'll put the medium one over here, maybe. Put it right down here. Okay. So that is set. Isn't that cute? Okay, so now we can work on the inside. But you know, let's give the linen double bow a minute to dry. I'm going to come back to the sample. Because see how it has just one flower in it? I want to do the one more flower. Hold on, dogs are going out. Bruiser, do you need to go out? Okay. Okay, so let's let this sit for just a minute. We'll come right back to that. But in your kit, if you want, you can do this project with these flowers. So there's 1, 2, and then a third one right here. And if you're like, okay, well, how do you get the color on it? So I'm going to show you that now. So here's the flower. Let me do it on this just so you could see it a little bit better. And the leaves for the inside. For the outside, the leaves remain intact, just as it die cuts. In here, we have to put the leaves in different places just because we have only this much room, which is about 1 1/8 inches, 1 1/4 inches. So the leaves are most likely going to come off here, and then they just get tucked in, like up there or off to the side. So to do the coloring, I have 2 blocks. Petal pink pad and olive. I might have enough olive ink on there. And I like to put the ink on the block just because it's easier to work with the ink. Here is a water painter. Make sure there's no color in it. And how about if we start with a green leaf? And I'm not sure how many leaves we're going to be using, so I'm just going to do all of them. So at first, I'm just going to do a wash of color. Then pick up a little color here. If I were to go directly in onto the paper, it would be that strong, which can be nice if that's what you're going for. But I want to be a little softer. So as I touch the tip of the brush onto the block in the ink, water is coming out, which kind of dilutes the ink. And it's a little bit, after it dries, it's just softer. And because there's water already on the leaf, the paper, the ink flows pretty easy. So at first I'm just going for a soft look. See how it's getting softer and softer. Let me do this one too. And I know most likely these are going to be cut apart, but that's okay. A little bit more color. And then up here on the petals, or the leaves, and then on the stem. I'm not sure how much will remain. Okay, I'm going to give that just a hint of time to dry. That might be dry enough. Then I'm going to go in looking for stronger color and just kind of do dark areas on it. Because I want some dark and some light, so it looks like it's watercolored. This is fine, all smooth like that. But when you look at this one with dark areas and lighter areas, it's a little bit more artsy and kind of, what do they call that word? Abstract. Just a little different. So I'll put some darker areas on here. So maybe on this side. And then on the underside of the petals, and maybe a little bit to define the difference from the green petals to the pink petals. The green leaves to the pink leaves. And then, see how it looks different? Yeah, it's sticking to me. And I'll hold this up. all of this area has 2 layers of color, where this has just the one. The one is nice, it's soft, but it's kind of uneventful. I don't want to say the word boring, but I think it's a little bit more exciting when it has highlights, dark areas, and lighter areas. And you can probably tell I'm not being precise at all. I think that's all the green we'll need. And I'm just going to leave it at that. A little bit messy, but definitely green. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to clear the ink from my brush by giving it a little squeeze, and I'm going until the water runs clear. So we're done with the old olive. So now to do the petal pink on the petals, and I'm kind of purposely pausing for a minute because I want the moisture to be gone from here, just because if I did petal pink all over here, I don't want the green to drift into the petal pink. Maybe I'll just go up here in this area. I'm kind of avoiding that green border line. Then I'm going to do the same thing, petal pink light over the whole thing. I have a streak there that I'm not liking, but I'll clean that up here in just a minute. Okay, so that's good. So now looking at the flower, some like this right here, the die cut says that's a petal, so I'm going to put darker around it, thinking that the petal is more in the sunshine and it's going to be lighter. Let's see if I could do this holding it up. So I'm going to go heavy into the petal pink ink, and then wherever there's a petal, I'm going to try to leave that lighter. Like, see, I surrounded that petal. Like, here's another one. So doesn't that make this petal right here look lighter? Like it's sticking out closer, just because it's lighter in color. And once again, I'm just going for a lot of different tones of petal pink in the one flower. And by no means is this precise at all. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. Let it dry. Clear out the brush before you put the lid on. Could you imagine doing cherry cobbler, dipping it into the petal pink, put it in onto your card, and you're like, oh goodness. Okay, so we're done with that. These, because they're so saturated with water, and this is just regular white cardstock, I'm going to let them dry a little bit because right now they're real flexible. Okay, so that's going to go in here. So we'll come back to this after it's dried a little bit. Okay, back to this card. See, that's looking cute. I like that. So let's work on the inside. That's kind of dry. Okay, so here's the inside. Your kit will come with your pieces, temporary adhesive stuck together. To remove the adhesive, give it a twist, and it'll come off. And then if you don't want that on there, you can just, with your finger, roll it off. Temporary adhesive. Okay, so I'm going to stick these on with glue, getting into that die cut piece for the pop out. And it should go, just think about centering it on the white card panel, and it should fit perfectly. It should. I put this here, then we could see the perimeter a little bit better. So I just centered it on the paper, and let's see. Yep, right on target. Okay, same thing here. Give it a twist. And hard to know where to hold on to it because I have glue everywhere. Okay, get it centered. So you know how in the morning when you have your cup of coffee, I don't know if you ever do this, it's like, oh, there's just a little bit left. I'm ready to be done with it. I like it. And so then you just drink all of it really fast. And then afterwards, you're just a little extra shaky. Okay, so here it is. That's what, oh, let me show you the die cut piece. This is a really fun bundle. So there's this one, and there's this one. That's just the rectangle from, was it Textured Notes? That's from Charming Day. This is one of the new ones. These two are a new one. That one and that one. This is part of the pop-up. Lovely Arrangements is this one. And this is the flowers. Okay, so these are, ooh. This is the die we're using. And when you look at the two of them, see how this one is smaller? I'm using the bigger one. There's also dies for the different vases. The polka dot and then the traditional. And then there are dies for the butterflies, flower, tulip, and sunflowers. And on here, you notice there's this stamp, which will color in your flower. There's this stamp, which will color in the stem and the leaves. For the tulip, there's a stamp to color that in. This stamp right here colors in these sunflowers, and the dots perfectly line up inside of the sunflowers. Two-step stamping at its kindest, its best. It's fun. And there's dies to cut everything out, including the little butterfly and the little flower. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we're using. So let me show you how, if you're doing this at home, you have your paper, and the paper cut sizes are in the video description. Pretend like this cut wasn't here. You would just take your paper, find the center seam, and there's these two little notches that go right to the seam, right there in here. And this is cutting, that's cutting. These other three are just scoring. So take this, put it, the little point right with your folded center, and run it through your machine, and it comes out like that. Then take this, just like a regular card. That's a valley. This is a valley, peak, valley. And just get them going. Then use your bone folder. We'll come back to this one in just a minute. Use your bone folder to give them a good smush. Now have you know, on the sample, the pop-up piece hiding right under here, the designer paper probably got a wrinkle in it, which is meaning maybe I shouldn't be doubling this up. But we're going to decorate the little box, the planter box. So it turned out fine. So I don't know what's going to happen in here. I'm peeking. Woohoo! This one worked. On my sample, I had a little ridge right through here where the designer paper bunched up. But we're going to be putting this decoration on there, so it didn't matter. If I were to show you this close up, you could say, yep, I see exactly what you're talking about. It's really small, but it gets covered up. If that happens to you, don't worry. We got it. Okay, so that's the inside. Let's do those little box flaps. This die right here. And they come in your little ephemera pack, and this is what they look like. Here, put all these on there. So this, and that comes in the bundle too. These I just cut to 1 by 1. So these I'm going to fold them in half and I'm going to attach them to the box. And this is the goal right here. Just little flaps. At first when I saw them, I was thinking, oh, that's how you make the pop-outs. Because if you didn't have the die doing all that, if you just had a piece of paper, you could put this on the card and you could put the paper on there, but you don't need to do that. I'm losing all my little bows. Okay, so I'm going to use my bone folder to set these score lines. Here's one. Fold it. Two. The die could be put away. Then, see, it's easier if I work on this. You could see it better. So let's decorate our box with 1x1 designer paper that matches the front. Okay, we're half decorated. Where's a sample? You know, after going through all that, I probably should stamp the words on the inside. Just because if I do a whoops, I'm going to put a word label over it. What words for the inside? What are the ones on the outside? Thanks for being there. Oh, there's some really fun words in here. I like this. The you get me, and I appreciate that. That can be right here. Okay, I'm going to stamp straight. Your fingers are crossed with me, right? Okay, here we go. I should test it first. Brand new stamp. Ooh, that looks good. Okay, gonna do it. Yay! Thanks for crossing your fingers. Okay, so let's continue decorating the box. So these little flaps, I'm just gonna put glue on one side. You could put it on both sides, but I like it kind of popping up, especially with the little ribbon on it. The little linen thread bow. So this, I'm going to get way into the corner, plop it down, fits perfectly. Okay, is it in there? It's in there. Cute. It's attached. Okay, do it again. See, sometimes I try to think smart, like which side do I want glue on? Because they're going to be attached, it doesn't matter. Should I put glue on the back or it's going to attach or here? Just when I put glue on here, it's kind of cumbersome because I know I get messy easy. Okay, that looks good. Let's look at it from the back. That's good, maybe a little crooked. I'll just have to decorate it lots. Crooked? Maybe I folded it crooked. Okay, does it still work? Yeah, and you know, in the end, where's that one? It does get really thick through here, but when somebody holds this, they're gonna go, oh, this is a homemade card. I know you really care. Isn't that fun? Isn't that cute? Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so here's that. Let's put the bows on. 2 tiny little bows. I'll put them right in the middle. I'm doing thin, lots of glue. I don't even know how these are going to pop in here because they're part of the set. I'm assuming that they're going to work perfectly, but I didn't test it. Oh, that bow. It's funny, the linen thread, you can't tell there. It's like I got a new spool. It's like, those are different colors. Isn't that funny? So I had to get an old spool. This is the old spool. The new spool, it's like, it looks like it's a different color. So I have a bonus little bow flown on. See, don't they look a little bit different? Just a little bit. I'll use it. Just not together side by side with another from the old spool. And these I'm fine with them being a little crazy. That one's a little bit too crazy. Okay. Dry. That's the non-matching one. Okay, so this looks good. I want these to dry. So let's go back to a different, oh, we could color this. Let's color that. So it's stamped. I'm kind of all over the place, but if you are working on yours at home, you'll just be doing the coloring. You'll still be coloring, and then I'll move on to this because it's already half done. I stamped in Smoky Slate. Usually when you use blends, you stamp with Memento because that ink doesn't smear. But you can stamp with other colors. I was looking for more of a soft effect, a soft look. So the flower I'm going to have is Petal Pink with just a dot of Flirty Flamingo. So the whole flower I'm going to do in Petal Pink Light. And I'm going over the whole thing kind of fast, hoping not to smear that Smoky Slate. The outline, the flower. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. Petal Pink Dark, I'm going to go wherever there might be a shadow. And once again, not focusing too long on any area because I don't want to smudge the Smoky Slate ink. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Then Flirty Flamingo Light, I'm just going to do a little dot here and there where the areas are definitely dark, like in the shadows and the creases in between the two petals. And once again, not staying too long on one area because I don't want it to smear the Smoky Slate ink. Okay. So now to do the leaves. I'll do Old Olive Light, just because when I did it all in soft seafoam, it looks plenty soft, but it didn't have enough oomph to stand up to say, hey, I'm a petal over here, or a leaf. So I tried Old Olive, dark Old Olive Light, soft seafoam dark, soft seafoam light. If you had to take out one of the colors, I definitely want some of the olive in there because it's like a stronger, more pigmented ink. I'm going to be using those three. And you're like, 3 colors on one petal? Yeah. It can be done. So the stem is Old Olive Light. And I'll just start with this one. Go in the center, and then just a few little swooshes out. Soft Seafoam Dark. And I'm leaving the outside edge of the leaf to be Soft Seafoam Light. Don't spend too much time blending, which you could have a lot of fun doing, but you would smear the gray stamp. And that's all that's to it. It's not blended well at all, but that's okay. So the center and a few little bits. I hear dogs behind me. Dogs. Bruiser drinks a lot of water. And it's like, dude, you're going to be going all night long. But no, he gets under the covers and he stays there all night long. Then, of course, in the morning, he's ready to go, but he drinks a lot. They should be coming today. I could track them, see where they are, see if they're even on the road. The kids and baby Warren. That is Soft Seafoam Dark and Seafoam Light. Let's do these two at one time. So olive shadow underneath the flower, and then just a few little bits coming out. Seafoam Dark. Leaving room on the outside edges for Seafoam Light. Flowers are done, and I have to say, I don't know what we're going to do with them. I don't know how they're going to work in there. That is getting dry. Let's give it just a little more time. So 3 flowers. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to give this just a little more time to dry. Let's work on the other one, the other watercolored one. So there's that. It's pretty dry. Extra leaves. So let's see how it's going to fit. I'd like for it to be up taller, but I'm just wondering how it will close. So say it was like that. How's it going to close? Oh, it's jamming up there. That works. I should just keep it where it is. But this petal, this leaf, it's getting chopped off. So I'm going to chop it off, and I'll reattach it somewhere nice. There it is. Make this a little shorter. And I could take these little bits off, but they might help out with the gluing. I'm not sure how much glue, how high. So usually I have all the kinks worked out before I show you stuff. Let's make sure that's kind of stuck in there. Let's make sure it's going to close. That works. Because it's pushing right against there, but it folds in. I just don't want it to get all, you know. Okay, and then I think there's a little bit of a gap down here, so I'm going to try to tuck some of these leaves. I should have 3 leaves. Look how pretty they are. I like that multicolored thing. Turned out pretty, huh? I see some glue on there. Could it? Ooh, that's a good placement. Okay, so a little bit more glue on here, and then glue on here. And you know, I'm just kind of winging it. I didn't really have a plan. But I think the key, see, that looks pretty good. The key is, will it close? That's good. And it opens and it looks cute. So when it's closing, I just don't want the leaf to be in here getting all curled up. Huh. Someone must have known what they were doing. It would be nice to have another one going this way, but I don't know if I'm pushing my luck. It's kind of nice it popping up there, huh? No, that would get folded. Whew. Could it be way up here? It's going to be a tower of stuff. Is it going to be wobbly? I don't know. Maybe I need to do like another flower behind it for support. Okay, before it dries, let's see. Isn't that cute? Okay. It works. It works. Look at that. Okay, this is kind of thrilling me. And look how these two are touching. but they don't get in the way of each other. My leaf is chopped off. Maybe after it dries, I'll trim up that little leaf. I have another leaf. Don't want it in the way of that. Could it stick out here? Oh, it might be able to do that. Because it's not going to interfere with the other one. I'm going to have to kind of beef these up though a little bit. Maybe go half on top. Half, no, just all underneath. Okay, dry. Let's see if it's going to work before it gets too dry. Okay, that's a lot of fun. Doesn't that look good? And they don't interfere with each other. Okay. Okay, I didn't know it was going to work that good. Stella is going to go in the white spots on the flower. Okay, I'm all happy amongst myself. Yeah. I kind of wish I could make these a little bit more stable because they're just very delicate right now. More Stella. Do you see the sparkle? I'll make sure the pictures show the sparkle. Okay, I want to do that again, just because I'm kind of in disbelief it works. Because see how this is kind of laying on top of the card? But when you close it, it even backs up a little bit off of laying on top of the card. Okay, this one is done. I'm much happy. I would say I'm much happy with my work, but it's more the designers who made it. Oh, you know what would be cute? Is if you had that little die. I'm not going to do it, but if you had, where's those dies? If you had this one, it could be like a double-decker planter. Okay. Like if you had this here, this one right here, you could have double-decker. Is that going to be creating more havoc, trying to figure it out? I don't know. But I'm sure it could be done. Because see how it's smaller? Then you could decorate it small. Okay, soon. Okay, but I'm still back to this. This card is done. And it works. I wonder if, like after you have it, just taking the flower and putting it back behind there to kind of sandwich into layers. It might need to be on the stem too. That probably would make it a little bit more sturdy. Okay, stop playing with the card. Move on, move on. Okay, this one is done. And we have these. These need Stella. Wink of Stella. I think everyone should always, they should have had on that sale, Wink of Stella. I have like 3 backups always. Okay, just the whole flower gets it. Okay, are we going to have that much success with the inside of this one? I was about to put this in, but it might be easier to work with it like this. Okay, how are they going to go? Like that. And a taller one. See, these work just fine. There's no bumping into each other. But the leaves that are hidden down there, I wonder if I can put them, I don't know how they would look up higher. Okay, so this could go here. This is the shorter one. Maybe some of the leaves can kind of drape over the edge. And then, that's the taller one. So these leaves, to me, they're looking like Yeah, you chop that off from the bottom and you're just sticking it there. I had to make them maybe somehow a little bit more together. They need to be more unified, because that's what rose bushes do. So maybe like that. I get that little shard off of there. Do you fuss over your projects like this? This is a little crazy. I'm gonna get, I need one more hand. I'm gonna get this stem off. See, that's what Mother Nature would do. Two leaves kind of together. That one leaf is looking. Okay, the tips, I'm going to just worry about the tips and I'm going to tuck it in. Because that to me looks bad. That looks good. So it can go somewhere real good. Okay, to start out, put glue on here. You know, I should try that. Maybe these will work better. I was thinking I should try beefing it up a little bit. But I think that these are not as flimsy is the wrong word, as delicate as the other is. Okay. That could be there. And then what about my little add-on? Maybe just without, because it's looking like a second thought. You know, leftover stuff. Okay, before they dry too much, let's check it. Oh, these work beautifully. How does that big old bunch of sunflowers work though? Would that fit in there? Well, we have to try. I don't know. It looks pretty big to me. Maybe it's just for the front. Okay, that works. Okay, so I have a tip for attaching this inside piece to the inside of your card. Just because if you were to put glue all over everything, minus the pop-up part, your card would not open very smoothly. So when I did this one, I took this piece, tucked it way into the corner, had glue all over, and closed it. It closes great, but I did not put glue on the inside, maybe third of it, both of these panels. And let me hold it up. See how there's just a little bit of a bridge right in there? If you had glue on there, it kind of makes your card fold not so good. So I suggest going along the outside edge and all over here and avoiding this third of the card that you're going to attach. And it will be a little bit of a bridge, but at least the bridge won't be, you know, like if you have on the wrong, that's a bad analogy. Well, it works. If you have on the wrong panties and they get all bunched up, it's a problem. This is stopping the bunch up. Hopefully I didn't offend anyone. Okay, put it right in the center. I'm looking at how much is here, about 1/4 inch, how much is there. Getting it right into the crack and closing it. Okay, let it dry just a little bit. And it looks good and it works. And there's that little bridge right there. But that's fine because the card works and the card closes and there's no bunching up. People don't like bunching up. Okay, that's it. I'm done for today. Okay, until something else. But this is, thank you for your order card. In the month of December, anyone that places an order of 50 plus gets a card kit mailed or hand delivered. And I hope you have fun with it. It's a fun bundle. Okay, have a good one. Bye.